Happy Friday. How are y'all doing on this Friday? Make sure y'all smash that like button on your way in here. Smash that like. Now, for those that have been following the Shanquella Robinson petition, you already have the updates. As you can see, I am on the petition page as I speak, and you see the updates. Okay, whenever there is an update that I know about, I update the petition. And ever since the civil lawsuit was filed, I have been updating this petition as the document filings came in, and also there were documents released from the FBI as well that I also will update as far as petition goes. So there's these updates. And I said that, once there was a lot of updates, I would actually do a live video as well. So here I am today with a live video. Yes. And let's go ahead and actually start with the most recent, because that's the one everyone is like, hey, what's happening now? But I definitely wanted to also review all the other updates for those that have not been keeping up and want all the updates and not just the most recent one that was filed on July 9th. Okay. So let's actually go to that document first. So Shanquella's mother filed this lawsuit, and a lot has been happening with it. Okay, so that's why I said I will go over the documents that I have posted so far to the petition. And also, if you're following the petition, most of the time, majority of the time, I give you these documents for free. So if you're again, and to get the updates, all you have to do is be number one, sign a petition. Number two, make sure you have notifications for change.org set to receive notifications. The email does not come directly from me. I post an update, and then change.org sends you my update. So no, I don't have anyone's email. Okay. Change.org is a middle person. I post an update, and they send my update to anyone that signed a petition that has notifications. And I'm just clarifying that for people that, spread disinformation about petitions. And so if you do have your notifications set to on, you will receive my updates. And a lot of times I attach to the update the documents, the court filings for free. Okay. And so the defendant, Emani Green, if you recall, I posted an update a while back, and I said that Daejhanae Manhan Jackson, the thing that, unalived Shanquella, that she had changed her name to Emani Green. I let the family know, hey, she had a name change. And the family let their attorney, Suette Robinson, know. And then from there, everybody just started talking about it, and everyone knew that she had changed her name. And then they also updated the lawsuit to amend the lawsuit to add her new name. So that's old news. So the reason I'm bringing it up now is because we're talking about the lawsuit. A lot of you that have not kept up, you are thinking that her name is Daejhanae Jackson, but she had a legal name change to Emani Green. So make sure you follow. So now Daejhanae, whose new legal name is Emani Green, she has amended. First, she filed an answer, and I went over this in my petition update. She filed an answer, and she was trying to get everything dismissed because she was saying that it was past the statute of limitations to file a wrongful death. And I was like, no, ma'am, it's not past the statute of limitation, because they filed this court case, the civil lawsuit against you, on the exact date, a year from the death of Shanquella. They filed within that time frame, on the exact day of their last day. So they made sure they kept up with the timing. So I was like, that's not going to work because they're within the deadline. So now she has filed an answer, and this is what everyone has been waiting for. What is the response of Daejhanae Jackson to what happened in Cabo? Now, of course, no one's really expecting her to confess. Now, this is what I was expecting from the lawsuit. A lawsuit, once someone is kind of served and things like that, it can kind of force people to have to respond and answer. It doesn't mean that they're going to tell the truth, but they're now going to at least get an answer. Without them filing this lawsuit, there's no way to kind of force someone to respond or answer unless they wanted to lose by default, right? So this is a way for everybody to finally get some response from a lot of people that were silent during this whole thing. The main person that was talking was Nazir Wiggins. He was the only one that was speaking out mostly with the Cabo Six, like a lot, and showing himself. Everyone else is pretty much a ghost. Now with this lawsuit, we see all of them slowly, one by one, have came out to respond in some sort of way to the lawsuit. So now the silence is no more. There's no more silence. So we're finally getting somewhere. And that's why that's one of the reasons, to file a civil lawsuit, is that when you can't get anything done criminally, but the criminal lawsuit, you could potentially do a civil lawsuit to get something and some answers. Now, what people don't realize is that, well, some realize because of what happened with Cassie, is that sometimes people are watching, aka the government. And with this civil lawsuit, the government, I'm not saying they are, but they could be watching for responses and what people confess to or admit to or what their answers are, because saying certain things it could incriminate you. So that's wishful thinking, that someone will slip up and say something that they didn't say before to the FBI doing a criminal investigation. They're trying to respond, trying to defend themselves and answer, and then they slip up and say something that can catch them up, and then boom, now the FBI, they could possibly do something. I don't know. So we will see, because remember, Cassie's lawsuit was civil, and then it led to a criminal investigation. So sometimes when things are happening that are shown in a civil lawsuit, sometimes criminal action can follow depending on what comes from it. So with that being said, let's go over Daejhanae Jackson's lawsuit. And by the way, it is July 11th. And to be honest, I don't even be over here like this on this channel, which I will be over here more. And there's also some new cases. Like, people have sent me some new cases that I'm actually interested in. So I definitely want to be back on this channel more. And I actually need to make sure I have my settings changed a little bit before I get started. Just wait 1 second, because I haven't been over here in a while, and I don't want any too many trolls coming over here on a serious topic. Okay. Just a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and review this document. It says Emani Green's versus Daejhanae Jackson's amended answer to verified amended complaint. And it says the defendant Emani Green, through counsel and pursuant to Rule 15A1A, the rules of civil procedure, responds as follows to plaintiff's verified amended complaint. And it says motion to dismiss, insufficient service of process. See, the first time she actually filed like pro se. She didn't have any representation. Now that she has counsel, they have amended it. And of course, the lawyer is going to be like, wait, the one you did, you can tell that you don't have any experience as an attorney. We're going to amend your response, and then now I'm going to help you and assist you with it. Of course, I'm going to now submit it as your lawyer. And of course, if you want, we can also review her initial response and not the one she did prior to this, which was without an attorney. And then now we have the one with the attorney. Okay. So it says the first bracket or section says motion to dismiss, insufficient service of process. And it says, as raised in Green's answer to the complaint filed on June 18, 2025, the amended complaint should be dismissed as Green dismissed. So they have a grammar error here, typo. Dismissed against Green pursuant to Rule 12b-5 of the Rules of Civil Procedure for insufficient service of process in accordance with. And it says Green will file a separate motion and supporting brief on this issue. And then they gave an answer. So let's go ahead and read her answer. And it says the 1 through 3, the allegations in paragraphs 1 through 3 are denied. And it says for 4 through 12, the allegations in paragraph 5 are expressly denied. It says Green lacks knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief about the truth of the remaining allegations in paragraphs 4 through 12. And it says 13 through 72. The allegations in paragraphs 13 through 72 are denied. And for 73 through 78, the allegations in paragraph 74 are expressly denied. Green lacks knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief about the truth of the remaining allegations in paragraph 73 through 78. It says 79 through 94. Green lacks knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief about the truth of the remaining allegations in paragraphs 79 through 94. And it says 95, it says right here, Green incorporates her responses above. And then for 96 through 99, the allegations in paragraphs 96 through 99 are denied. So what they are basically doing is that they are answering to the complaint. Okay, the first one was like a motion to dismiss for insufficient process. And if they can't get it dismissed based on insufficient service of process, then this is their answer to the actual complaint. Okay. And it says, so when they say 96 through 99, they're answering to the paragraphs from the actual complaint. And it says 100 says Green incorporates her responses above. And it says, moving forward, says the allegations in paragraphs 101 through 104 are denied. Of course, she's going to pretty much deny as much as possible in the actual complaint. And it says Green incorporates her responses above. And it says the allegations in paragraphs 106 through 111 are denied. And it says Green incorporates her responses above. For this, you will have to do a cross comparison. You will actually look at the complaint that was filed against all the defendants. And then you would go to the actual paragraphs they're referencing, and then you will see what she's denying and what she's not denying. But as you can see, she's pretty much denying a lot of this, and we're going to get to the next few pages where she's going to actually talk about what's in my actual title. And it says the allegations in paragraphs 113 through 120 are denied. And it says Green incorporates her response above. And then from 122 to 130, denied. and then 132 through 141 are denied. Now, noticeably right here, there's not a 131 is not mentioned here. There's no 131. It skips from 122 through 130 are denied. Then there's that 131 is still here. Available, is not responded to right there. The same with the 121. Okay. And it says right here, Green lacks knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief about the truth of the allegations in paragraphs 149 through 167. So right here, they're still trying to argue that it's past the statute of limitations. It says plaintiff's claims are barred by the applicable statutes of limitations. And it says the second affirmative defense, it says plaintiff's claims are barred by laches because plaintiff's unreasonable delay in asserting her claims has prejudiced Green by, among other things, impeding her ability to obtain evidence relating to an incident that occurred years ago in a foreign country. So they're saying that she's going to be prejudiced because of all the evidence and things that she's not going to have like access to a lot of evidence. So that's where Mexico would come in, because they have to have good evidence and have to have a lot of evidence collected over there from that villa and everything as pertaining to this. Because if they could try to argue all the evidence, like where's the evidence? Because remember, they were trying to say it was an accident. If they don't like have good evidence over there in Mexico, and there was something with the evidence collection, she could try to argue that that's going to be prejudicial to her. So then the third affirmative defense says plaintiff's claims are barred by assumption of the risk based on, among other things, the defendants' belligerent behavior and provocation of an altercation. So they're saying that she was belligerent. They're trying to, of course, blame it on Shanquella and say that she was belligerent and that she provoked an altercation. Plaintiff's claims are barred by assumption of the risk based on, among other things, the decedent's belligerent behavior and provocation of an altercation. And it says of the fourth affirmative defense, it says plaintiff's claims are barred by the decedent's contributory and or comparative negligence, including but not limited to the decedent's belligerent behavior and provocation of an altercation, the decedent's failure to accept assistance or alert others of any serious medical condition, and the decedent's decisions to engage in excessive drinking. So, of course, since Shanquella is not here to defend herself, Daejhanae is going to, make up her own side of the story. Okay, make up her own allegations on what's happening, and of course, victim blame. So they said she had belligerent behavior, that she provoked an altercation, and the failure of her to accept assistance or alert others of any serious medical condition, and the decedent's decision to engage in excessive drinking. Says secondly, right here, it says self-defense. So this is the fifth affirmative defense, self-defense. Plaintiff's claims are barred on the grounds that, to the extent Green was involved in any altercation, she was acting in self-defense. So everyone saw the video of Daejhanae Manhan Jackson brutally attacking Shanquella, right? So that's not disputable at this point, right? So she's saying, to the extent Green was involved in any altercation, she was acting in self-defense. So she's trying to say, well, anyone can see that, but it was all about self-defense. She provoked it. She was belligerent. She was drunk. So that's what she's trying to say. It says, wherefore a plaintiff prays the court to dismiss plaintiff's amended complaint and for such other and further relief that is just and proper. And this was filed 2 days ago, and she has a lawyer by the name of Elliot Fuss, and that's attorney for defendant Daejhanae Jackson out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So before, in her last filing, she had no lawyer, but now she has a lawyer. And it says the clerk of court and all parties of record. This document right here is just showing that she has counsel now. Again, the first time she showed up to this court, she did not have a lawyer, but now she has one. And it says the clerk of court and all parties of record appearance of counsel. I am admitted or otherwise authorized to practice in this court, and I appear in this case as counsel for Emani Green, which is, of course, Daejhanae Jackson. Okay, in just a second, I'm actually going to gift memberships because at the beginning of every month, I can gift memberships, okay? I just haven't been on this channel to do so, but I will while I'm over here. Just a second. So what do y'all think about Daejhanae Jackson's response? Are y'all shocked by her response? I'm not. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the petition as well. I think most people have signed it by now, but we definitely want to make sure people have signed the petition. Just a second. Let's scroll up just a bit. So the petition is at 46,866 signatures. So shout out to everybody for getting us up to almost 47,000 signatures on this petition. And I will be, trying to see. I reached out to her father before, and I gave him the petition signature to see if he wanted to actually submit it to some government body. And now I will actually reach out to her, her sister, and see if she would want to do something with the petition signatures. Now, the main thing that can happen now is that whenever I send out an update, it goes to everybody. So if there was ever a time we wanted to email people or get together or unite, I would just send an email, and then everybody that has notifications set will get that alert. And then from there, we will actually be able to take action. So that's the whole point of a petition. So early on, it came in handy when we were actually making phone calls and sending out emails and doing a lot of things. Right now, there's just a civil lawsuit. Okay. Another thing people can do sometimes is take the petition signatures and say, hey, we have almost 47,000 signatures, and they can submit it to somebody. It can be as a way to get stuff into the media and to bring attention to the case or things like that. So I will see if she wants to do anything like that. But so if there's ever time we need to actually unite, or there's a certain event or something, then that's what the petition is for, to let everyone know and inform everybody that signed a petition of what's going on and what's happening, and keeping everybody up to date on what's happening. Press 1 if you signed a petition and you have also been getting petition updates. So press 1 if you've been getting petition updates and you signed it. So that's also a benefit of signing petitions, that you get updates whenever there's a new court document. As soon as I'm aware of it, I will let everyone know what's happening with the actual case. Like I said, that was the most recent federal filing from Emani Green, formerly known as Daejhanae Jackson, the woman seen on video brutally beating Shanquella Robinson while she was naked, unarmed, and defenseless. Let's talk about why Emani's claims of self-defense, assumption of risk, and negligence are not just like how she said she contributed to her negligence, are not just morally bankrupt, they are legally weak arguments. Okay, the statute of limitations ain't saving you, Daejhanae Jackson, because it's not past the statute of limitations. It's not. They filed that document on the exact last day, so they're within the statute of limitations. So let's begin with what everybody saw. A viral video shows Shanquella undressed, unarmed, not swinging, not fighting back, not doing anything. In fact, when someone said, Shanquella, are you going to fight back? She said, no. She was being punched, slammed, and thrown to the ground. The attacker, identified as manly built Daejhanae Jackson. I'm not saying she's a man, I'm saying she's built like one. Now hiding under the name Emani Green, which I have popped her already. Was just attacking Shanquella. And to be honest, even when Shanquella came into that room, Daejhanae was acting like a hater. I'll be honest. It's obvious what transpired on there, and no matter how many pictures I look at, how many pictures I see of Daejhanae Jackson, they're all seem like someone that's always pouting or just not happy at all. And as far as Shanquella is the total opposite, someone bubbly, seems outgoing, personable, and trying to smiling, and total opposite. Some people are just party poopers, or they're just negative. Okay, negative Nancy's are, But yeah, so what we have to understand about self-defense legally requires that you face an imminent threat of harm, that you did not initiate the violence, and your force was proportional. There's a such thing this wasn't about law enforcement, about reasonable force. If someone they don't have a weapon, they don't have a knife, they don't have any spray, they don't have anything that can really unalive a police officer, it would be unreasonable for a cop to just start, pulling out their weapon and shooting an unarmed person. That would be considered unreasonable force. So a lot of times they want people to meet force with force and let it be reasonable. So with this, how can you claim self-defense when it was not proportional? Shanquella was her saying that she did not want to fight or participate or be involved in that. So that's not self-defense. And it definitely wasn't proportional. It was clear who had the upper hand. It was clear that at any moment you could have stopped, but you kept on, but you kept on. Shanquella posed zero threat. She was not fighting. No one saw her hit you at all. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? It was, let's be honest here, y'all. That was not self-defense. Daejhanae was not afraid of Shanquella. Did Daejhanae look like she was afraid for her life or trying to defend herself? No, she was attacking someone defenseless and that wasn't fighting back. There's nothing in that video that shows any self-defense. Self-defense would be if Shanquella was fighting back and she was just trying to fight, and that's no self-defense is Shanquella. Shanquella was the one saying no, that she didn't want to fight. Shanquella was the one that was clearly someone came after her while she was naked. She was like, who actually wants to get in a fight when they're naked? What person wants to be in a fight when they're actually naked? Let's make it make sense. So she was clearly a pro-jar. She was like at a time when she was naked. Like, no one's trying. Come on now. So she just wanted to attack you while she's naked and start a fight while she's naked. No, nobody wants to start a fight while they're naked. They at least want to get their clothes on and do something to themselves. Like, come on. And even when Shanquella was like on the floor, she still kept on attacking her when she was on the floor. She was no longer standing up, and she still kept attacking her, brutally attacking her. So all with that being said, that kills self-defense. Anyone looking at that video will clearly see Shanquella was trying to defend herself. She would have her hands up, or she would be like trying to shield her face or protect herself or do certain things to get you away from her. She was the one in the defensive mode, in positions to defend herself. You are the one in assault attacker mode, aggressive mode, approaching mode, attacking, keep on going at someone that doesn't want to fight back. And she said clearly she does not want to fight back. So no, there's no self-defense. So in her amended answer to the lawsuit, Emani denies everything from her involvement to knowing anything about Shanquella's injuries to everything. But let's be clear, there's visual evidence of the beating, of the unaliving. She was in the room, she was participating. Others were watching. She was the one savagely attacking Shanquella. But what did she argue and said? That Shanquella was the one belligerent. No, you are the one belligerent. She argues that the delay in filing the civil case caused her harm. How is that causing you harm, a delay in filing the civil case? Daejhanae Manhan Jackson, you have a freaking warrant in Mexico. And by the way, people, there's no new warrant in Mexico. That warrant has already been out since 2022. The only reason everybody was talking about the warrant is because the FBI released documents that were talking about the warrant and discussing the warrant. So some people that had no clue about it previously thought it was something new, but it was actually old. And trust me, I was like, oh, it's a new update. So what update? Because I don't see anything on the filings. And then once I got the FBI documents, I said, oh, it's just a misunderstanding. People think it's something new, but it's actually old. Now, she has a warrant. It has never went away. So she has actually been a fugitive from Mexico because she knows she has a warrant there, and she has refused to turn herself in. So she's trying to argue that the delay in filing the civil case caused her harm. How? Oh, she's saying that now there could be an issue of evidence. No, you're hoping that there's an issue of evidence because you're hoping that, well, the FBI, the feds, they haven't done anything to me. So baby, evidence is lacking. And I really hope they catch you slipping. Even with your answer to this lawsuit, I wonder if you're going to say something in this civil case that's going to catch you slipping or get you caught up. That's what I'm hoping for. You say one little thing and the FBI will be able to nail you. And so she's also trying to say that Shanquella assumed a risk and that she was acting in self-defense. So it's all around giving blame the victim, blame the victim, blame the victim. And people that were there witnessing everything that was going on, they can actually stand up. They're a part of this case. They can actually speak out and stand up and say, hey, that's not how things went. But the whole time, a lot of these people have been silent. So they could all be still in cahoots and things like that. But there's other documents too that we can go over. But if others actually do the right thing and stand up and say, hey, this is what really went down in Cabo, and now you can actually, let Daejhanae, face justice and do the right thing. But will they? I doubt it. So let's go a little deeper. She's trying to say it's self-defense and that Shanquella provoked the whole altercation. She was belligerent and excessively drinking. She's still trying to go to this whole drinking thing. And we can clearly see that Shanquella was alert. She was alert. She was able to walk us. If there was a sobriety test where they said, hey, walk a straight line, Shanquella was able to stand up. She was walking. She was able to walk and get around. She was able to respond. She was not like a drunk, sloppy drunk falling over. So what we saw was not a fight. That's why everyone online has not called it a fight. We saw a beat down. We saw a savage attack. Mutual combat, when people say it's a fight, that requires mutual combat. Mutual combat does not mean you get to kill someone and walk free. Even in states with the stand your ground law, you cannot be the aggressor and then claim self-defense. You punched Shanquella in the head multiple times. You threw her to the floor, and Shanquella died within 24 hours. The initial autopsy lists the spinal cord and atlas luxation, a broken neck. And that wasn't just a scuffle. It was a fatal act of unprovoked violence, and claiming self-defense based on Shanquella's alleged belligerence. When there is video proof she never lifted her hand, that's a fantasy and a freaking lie. And people can say, oh, at the beginning of the little video, they see that Shanquella seemed like she was ready to engage. What we have to see is, in that video, we heard Shanquella say she does not want to fight. What I saw is someone trying to defend themselves. Shanquella is the one that says she's the one that could claim self-defense. She was trying to hold her hands up and and somebody's going to fight her. Someone's going to try to swing at her. Someone's going to be attacking her. So she has to try to defend herself. She's the one that will be able to claim self-defense, not Daejhanae. So for all people say, oh, Shanquella trying to fight, no, Shanquella trying to defend herself against the masculine built body female way bigger than her that wants to fight her and attack her, and she's saying, no, I don't want to fight. I'm not going to hit her back. And the moment she says she's not going to hit you back and you keep on attacking, that's not self-defense. You're not going to hit her? No, I'm not going to. So how can you say someone doesn't want to hit back, and then now you say you have to defend yourself against someone that clearly said no? Her say no, that she was not going to hit back. That was that right there. So how can you argue self-defense even after that point? And the fact that someone even asked her if she's going to hit back, that showed you that there was no self-defense going on. Because if Shanquella was hitting you and hitting you and hitting you, no one would ask her, hey, are you going to hit back? Are you going to hit? Are you going to fight back? Are you going to fight back? Why did someone ask her, are you going to fight back, Shanquella? Are you going to fight back? Because she wasn't fighting back. She wasn't hitting. If they saw her fighting, they would not have asked her if she's going to fight. People are always just making up lies. You're not going to fight back, Shanquella? Was the question, because they didn't see her fighting back. And that was someone in the room in Cabo, in Mexico, that said this. So with that being said, your self-defense argument does not hold up, Daejhanae. It doesn't. And also, what about the statute of limitations? Emani tries to say that it's too late, that it is barred by the statute of limitations. Nope. First, this is a wrongful death suit. And let me actually see exactly what it is for North Carolina. Hold on. I think it's 1 year or 2 years. Let me see. I actually filed a update to it. I could actually check my update. So the statute of limitations for wrongful death in North Carolina is 2 years from the date of death, but North Carolina recognizes exceptions if there is fraudulent concealment, misrepresentation, or if facts were hidden that prevented the family from discovering the truth. So there are exceptions to that 2-year deadline. And by the way, it was actually filed 2 years from the date of her death. So they still actually met that deadline anyway. In this case, I will say that Shanquella's family was lied to by their friends who claimed that she died of alcohol poisoning. The video of the beating came out later. Mexico issued an arrest warrant months later. And Emani changed her name and evaded public accountability. But, she actually did change her name as well at some point. All of this can pause or extend the statute clock, known legally as tolling. So there are situations to where they can argue past the actual statute of limitations, past that 2 years. But they don't really have to, because guess what? They did fall within the 2 years, exactly on the last day possible to fall. So they met the actual deadline. It's like if something is due by tonight, and this is the last day, as long as I submit it tonight, I'm good. So they fall on the last day possible, but they still fall on time. So that whole thing right there. So let me actually discuss something else. I discussed the statute of limitation and the self-defense. So another thing that they are trying to allege is that they're saying that the attorney for Emani is saying that Shanquella was drunk, that she had a medical condition, she was belligerent, and that she refused help. No, based on the doctor and other things, y'all are the ones that refused to take her to the emergency room or get her emergency help. She could not respond. She was unable to. She was nonverbal. She was making noises, but she was not able to communicate. That's why, if she was able to communicate, the doctor could talk to her. She was unable to, and she was saying to y'all fake bitches. Wait. To y'all fake friends, to get her that she needed to get to emergency. Y'all are the ones who went back and forth with this whole thing. So y'all are the ones that were technically refusing to get her help. Y'all are the ones that stalled and waited for a while before even seeking help. And again, this is nothing but victim blaming. You don't get to unalive someone and then say, well, she drank too much. Alcohol does not justify murder. So if someone, she was drunk, she was this, she was that, what does that got to do with you actually beating her to death? Let's say she was drunk. So now because someone is drunk, you can beat her to death? So let's say she was belligerent. So you can beat her to death, even though she's not fighting back, and she says she doesn't want to fight you, but you can now beat her to death and unalive her because she's belligerent and drunk. And she had a medical condition. What medical condition? So what? All these things you're saying about Shanquella does not justify you beating her to death. And she's defenseless. She's not fighting back. And you're savagely attacking her until she, she's unalived. And then at the very end, you say, oh, and if there's not no if, ands, or buts about it. There's actual video proof and evidence of you savagely and beating and attacking Shanquella. There is no buts or about it. It's not no self-defense. So she's blaming someone that's deceased. Because when someone is deceased, they cannot defend themselves. They no longer have a voice. So then you can try to make up things. Here's the thing. She wasn't the only one there. There were others there. And someone was already caught on camera asking Shanquella, are you going to fight back? And she said no. And at that time, she was still able to stand. She was still able to talk. She was still able to walk. She was still able to breathe. She was still able to respond. She was alert. She wasn't falling over. She wasn't drunk, and she wasn't belligerent. She clearly said no, that she was not going to fight back. And she was trying to be in defense stances, what you would try to be to defend yourself. At that very moment, that's when you could say, okay, she's not going to fight back. She says, no, she doesn't want to fight me. And then you walk away, you go back to you walk away, you go away. But instead, you decided to keep on attacking her and attacking her and attacking her until now she's no longer here. That's not self-defense. And the fact that someone actually spoke up and said, are you going to fight back? And she said, no. That's evidence right there that she wasn't fighting you. She wasn't fighting you. And a witness that's in the room saw it. And that's why they saw she wasn't fighting back. And that's why they asked the question. So to be honest, that could be used against you. And here's where it gets interesting. Emani pleads self-defense in federal court. But this could actually backfire. Why? Self-defense is a confession and an avoidance defense. You're actually confessing. And now I know we have the video, but this is also now a verbal, written confession that you actually participated in you're claiming self-defense to the unaliving. Remember, this is a wrongful death. So you're claiming self-defense in a wrongful death case. That you're claiming self-defense in a wrongful death lawsuit. Yikes. That could backfire. And that's good for us, right? You're admitting that you were involved in her death. But hey, I was involved in the death, but hey, it's self-defense. That's how it can be looked at, that you're actually admitting to being involved in her death, but it was self-defense. Or I'm just saying. And that you're trying to justify it. Admitting to being involved, but you're justifying it. This could actually trigger further criminal investigation. It could. And that's what I'm actually hoping for. Maybe I'm like looking at this in a certain way where I'm actually hoping it will. The moment you actually admit to a physical encounter, now to be honest, she might have already spoken to the FBI and admitted to a physical encounter, and maybe she already told the FBI herself that, hey, it's self-defense. Maybe that's been her story all along. So maybe this is new to us, but to the FBI, it might not be new to them. They might have already heard her story and claiming self-defense. And that could be a holdup for the FBI, because without knowing every little detail, like, how could they prove that it wasn't self-defense? If Daejhanae claimed it was self-defense, The FBI will have to prove that it wasn't self-defense. So that could have been an argument that Daejhanae used against Shanquella to the FBI, because we don't know everything she told the FBI, right? But since she's saying it in the courtroom, it's possible that she also told the FBI during their investigation that she was defending herself against a drunk, belligerent Shanquella. And maybe that's something that more than just Daejhanae is saying and trying to get out of this. By they could have came up with it and said, hey, we can just say that you were defending yourself against her and she was drunk and all that, and you were defending yourself. But this is the issue. Why y'all never mention that you physically assaulted and attacked Shanquella in Mexico? Why did y'all wait until way later to actually, once that video started circulating, going viral, is when we all found out about that beating in Cabo, Mexico. So y'all covered it up. So if it were true that it was just about alcohol poisoning and alcohol, then y'all could have just been honest and say, hey, well, it was also, I beat her down over here too. But y'all covered that up. And there's a reason y'all covered that up, and y'all failed to tell anyone. You didn't tell the doctor. You didn't tell anyone at all over there while y'all were in Cabo about how Daejhanae beat up and savagely beat up her and beat Shanquella to death. You left that out. And there's the only wrong reason you believe something out like that is because you already knew that once you told everyone over there what you had done, you would not be going home to America. That's why you wanted to get out of there quick and fast and get back to the United States. Because you knew that if you told anyone in Mexico what had happened in that villa, a lot of y'all would not be, and especially Daejhanae would not be here now in the States. So what do you come up with? Oh, it's self-defense. She was drunk. She was belligerent. And then later she died of alcohol poisoning, when that's not the case. We know why she died. We know why she's no longer here. We know why when the doctor came that Shanquella was in the state that she was in. It's all because she was unalived by Daejhanae Manhan Jackson, who savagely beat her when Shanquella said she did not want to fight. You're one of those people that when someone is already down, you've already won the fight, you still want to keep on pummeling them and just attacking them and beating them to a pulp until they're no longer here. But yeah, so that whole thing about being self-defense, if it's something new that the FBI has not heard, that could trigger the criminal investigation. The minute you admit a physical encounter, you lose plausible deniability. You do. So your own answer to this lawsuit, now her initial response, she didn't say any of this. Now that she has a lawyer, the lawyer is the one responding in this way. So that can lead to depositions under oath, new evidence discovery. And to be honest, she still has a warrant in Mexico. So that could even trigger extradition. To be honest, the United States can still extradite her to Mexico. That has never not been an option. So even if they don't want to prosecute her in the States, why not extradite her back to Mexico? So maybe the new stuff that's coming out, maybe now it's new to us. We don't know if it's new to Mexico or new to the United States, to the FBI. So that being said, hopefully, I would say, to be honest, it's probably a good time, just in case, to actually try to get Mexico back on board with this whole thing. And what I'm saying is, they are the ones that actually have a warrant for Daejhanae's arrest. So all we need them to do is extradite her back there. And this right here, she's trying to claim self-defense. So she's actually, there's plausible there's plausible deniability here because she's actually admitting to being involved in this possibly, but it'll be self-defense, so that they're still there. So she might think this kind of shields her, but it could be something that sinks her if it's something that's new to in law enforcement. Okay, a lot of things could be something that FBI in Mexico has already heard, and then it's new to us. And it could be that they already heard about it, and the fact that they heard that she's claiming self-defense, it's kind of like this. This only really works a lot of times when there's people that are going to co-sign each other, or when you're alone with someone. Let's say I'm at home with someone and I unalive them, right? I can then say, hey, nobody's around, nobody's looking, there's no witnesses, there's no cameras. I can claim that they try to do something to me and I unalive them due to self-defense. And then the police will have to investigate, and they have to prove that it wasn't self-defense. They have to prove that I did not unalive the person, for no reason or for my own reasons, and that I tried, it was all about me defending myself. Now, there's a lot of times forensics and other things can kind of help, but not always the case when there's only two people around. Now, here's the issue with the Shanquella. There's more than one person that they were not alone together. And we also have video evidence that Shanquella said she did not want to fight, and she was trying to defend herself, and she even, at one point she was on the ground and she was still being pummeled and attacked. So that whole self-defense thing is out. And then we also hear someone saying, hey, are you gonna fight back? And she says no. So that whole thing is thrown out because of the video evidence. This is not where she could easily claim self-defense when there's other evidence proven, like from the video and verbal responses for Shanquella says she's not gonna fight back. That self-defense, I don't think is gonna work. So ultimately, again, we already know it wasn't a fight, it was an attack. And no amount of legal spin can change what we all saw: a defenseless Shanquella beaten in a villa and left for dead while her fake friends lied and fled. But yeah, so changing your name won't change the truth. Filing self-defense won't erase the actual footage. And there's 2 years for the statute of limitations, and they filed just in time. And there's other tolling things they can use to say, hey, we have different sets of circumstances to where we should have an extension of that deadline of the statute of limitations. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look at, we might have to do different videos because there's just a lot been happening with Shanquella since my last video. But again, you can always check out the petition updates as well. So what I will probably do, and most likely I will do, is I need to actually see what's happening with Mexico, because before I was calling and emailing and all that with Mexico. So now with this new lawsuit, I need to actually get emails, and we all need to be sending this whole thing about how Daejhanae is trying to say self-defense and worded a certain way to kind of show, hey, she's actually admitting right here that she was involved in this beating of Shanquella, and y'all have it over there. Y'all have a warrant for her arrest. Y'all also say it was outless luxation, a broken neck. And she's actually admitting that she was the one, in this whole, it's not a fight, it's a beating of Shanquella. So if y'all saying she had a broken neck, then hey, you know where the broken neck came from. So we all need to pretty much email Mexico. Okay, and again, all the emails from Mexico, I have it right here in the petition. but I'm still going to be trying to call around and make sure there's any updated emails. Sometimes that was 2022 and 2023 era. Sometimes people's jobs change. So people in certain jobs might have been replaced with other people in authority. So we have to make sure we have updated contact information. So give me time to get updated contact information. And once I have updated because see it right here. And by the way, some people that we were emailing and calling before and contacting, even people I spoke to, like Shirley Rutledge and things like that, some of these people actually were involved in the whole case because remember, they brought in the FBI. They actually sued the FBI and others, government bodies and entities. So they were also brought in and they responded. So there's a lot. And then, by the way, adding the FBI was smart because I even filed a request for the FBI before the lawsuit even, y'all remember the lady from the FBI, the publicist was actually emailing me documents. Like I'm not like media, but she was like updating me because I was in charge of Petition. And then she would actually respond to my emails. So with that being said, when they actually added the FBI to the actual defendant list, now the FBI has been releasing documents, and I did post some to the actual petition. I don't know if I posted all, but what I will say is this: that was smart because that kind of made them have to release some documents. Now, I will say that one of the documents they last released was heavily redacted, and by redacted, they blocked out a lot of stuff. And I will say I was not really impressed. I was thinking of, like the FBI files were like loaded with information and loaded with this and loaded with that, but lackluster. To be honest, I don't know what, the whole time I'm thinking like what some deep investigation or what they're doing. So far the stuff they've released, I'm not that impressed by what they were doing all that time. Okay, I'll be honest. But again, now, if it were not for following the lawsuit, then guess what? We would not have the documents that we have from the FBI. So it kind of made people respond. So that's a smart. It was a smart move to file a lawsuit to get some answers and some responses from people that were just walking away, changing their names, changing locations, moving, trying to duck and dodge this whole thing. Now they are at least brought into the courtroom. So that was a smart move. So this was about a year ago, and I said, please help by emailing the following people today. And right here, action needed, justice for Shanquella. Let's act now. So once you will be getting some more of these emails. And again, it's when you get an email, all it takes is like 1 minute for you to actually email somebody. Y'all know y'all can send group chats and group messages. All you gotta do is copy and paste all the emails and then just write one email to all the people at one time. It only takes a few minutes of your time. And like I said a million times, when you get an email like that, they'll be like, well, everybody else is gonna do it, so there's no need for me to do it. That can be lead to nobody doing it. It can, because you're always going to be like that can be sometimes happening when there's like an accident or something and people are just all sitting around like you help, no, you do it, you help, and then everybody's looking at each other like who's going to help. Whenever you get an email asking, hey, can you email this or email that or contact this person, always think and always believe that you might be the only person doing it. Don't always think that somebody else is going to do it. Well, there's 100 other people. And then if 100 people start saying, oh, well, somebody else is going to do it, somebody else is going to do it, then nobody ends up doing it, maybe 5 people. Okay. So when I do send out an email, think about the time I'm going to be spending trying to get this information and send that out, and just take a few minutes at that point to just send an email, so that way I'm not wasting my time by collecting information and no one's doing it. Okay. Again, I would make it easy, because I will say, hey, here's about 5 or 6 emails. We need to just copy and paste these emails, and then pretty much we need to be talking about this, we're talking about that. I won't tell you exactly what to say, because everybody doesn't need to see Everybody does not need to see the same message, because we all send the same message, and guess what? It's gonna seem like it's a robot or spam. So I will just tell you the emails and then what's the gist of the conversation, and from there you have to come up with your own message. But it should not take that long. And this is where I put 12 months ago I put the next steps, and then 8 months ago I said Daejhanae changed her name. 7 months ago, I said Shanquella Robinson lawsuit, Cabo 6 third, Nazir Elise and Khalil was third. And then this was 6 months ago. I put happy heavenly birthday to Shanquella. Now again, you can click on these and each one has information. And then 5 months ago, it says federal defendants filed motion to dismiss and Shanquella Robinson case. Now this is the one where I will actually read this one. Okay, hold on. Let's open this one. And this was January 25th, and I say, hey y'all, happy Saturday, have a blessed day. Lawsuit update. Khalil Cook requested an extension to file an answer because he's allegedly looking for an attorney to represent him. Winter Donovan was served on January 5th, 2025, and must answer by January 27, 2025. A motion to dismiss the lawsuit was filed as quoted below. And this was the federal defendants such as the FBI and the Department of State. It says, comes now the United States of America on behalf of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and the United States Department of State. Herein author federal defendants by and through being a United States Attorney for the Western District of North Carolina, and moves to dismiss the verified amended complaint filed in this civil action for lack of subject matter jurisdiction pursuant to, and then it gives that. Okay, and it says for failure to state a claim upon which relief may be granted. And I gave the arguments for the motion to dismiss. Now I'm actually gonna go. So this is just giving you a little, and then right here I put. Oh wait, go back. Now Nazir Wiggins denies all allegations. We must keep pushing for justice for Shanquella. That was 4 months ago. And then right here, 4 months ago, I put petition update. Defendants seek dismissal. We must keep fighting for justice. And then again, 4 months ago, FBI files revealed new details in the Shanquella Robinson case. So if you click on that one again, and I put newly released FBI documents. The FBI has released 2 documents, which I will share once I redact it because they contain some personal information. In the meantime, check out this article update. And I have those FBI documents, and in my next video, we will go over all the FBI documents that were filed. Like I said, I went over the documents before, but if there were like more, I think, documents released, and we need to go over those documents, okay? Hold on. It says a lot of the information, hold on. The FBI file says agents searched Robinson's phone. What they found in the phone is redacted. Again, it's heavily redacted documents. The files also state that in November 2022, authorities in Mexico told the FBI they needed to interview someone on the trip so they could get a temporary detention order. Mexican prosecutors eventually would issue an arrest warrant, but no one was ever extradited. We already know that. And then, of course, the Robinson family is, of course, suing the Cabo 6 and others. Hold on one second. About a month after she died, FBI records also showed that they spoke to a person whose name was redacted from the file. Again, a lot of things were redacted, who referenced that fight, and I don't call it a fight, I call it a beating, and said they are not sure what happened, but the unknown person claimed Robinson's friend said she was drinking and hit her head on the toilet. They always keep on naming all these different things. Oh, she hit her head on the toilet and she fell, she did this, she did that. We already know what happened to Shanquella. She got savagely beaten to death. The documents say the person also told investigators they saw pictures of Robinson's body and said there are bruises on her and she looks like she was stomped on. So we're going to go over the latest FBI documents, okay? In my next video. So make sure you turn on your notifications. We're going to go through those documents. The FBI has released documents related to the investigation into Shanquella Robinson's case, likely in response to public pressure. And again, they did release it because it was brought to their, like, once this lawsuit was filed, the FBI was accused, which is true, as a real allegation, that they were not releasing any information. It's like they kept on saying that it was, what was the Shanquella case open or closed? Was it still being investigated? If it's closed, then release the information. If it's not closed, then what's going on, right? So they were not releasing anything. So now that this lawsuit was filed, they finally started releasing documents and finally releasing things. So right here, I put the FBI has released, this is March 18th, I wrote, the FBI has released documents related to the investigation to Shanquella Robinson's case, likely in response to public pressure for transparency. While the release is minimal, it is a start and hopefully more information will follow. So right here, I actually gave right here FBI documents. You click on that link that takes you to the documents that we will be reviewing in my next live. And I gave it to everybody for free way back in March. So if you didn't get it, you're like, hey, what are you talking about? Sign the petition and you will get updates. And there's documents like that, and then you'll know what's going on. Okay, this is July, and I sent this way back in March. And this is going over Khalil Cook and what he responded. So if you file a petition, you will know that I gave the update on Khalil Cook, that he was requesting this dismissal, and he argued that the lawsuit should not be heard in North Carolina because the incident in question occurred in Mexico, making it an inappropriate forum under the legal doctrine of forum. So he's trying to say that this is a wrong venue and place to try this, how this case is a wrong venue, that since it occurred in Mexico, it should occur over there. Now, how about y'all all go to Mexico? Because as soon as Daejhanae steps foot on Mexican soil, on Mexico soil, she's gonna be arrested because she has a fucking warrant. So Daejhanae, maybe you should go over there to Mexico and have this tried. And you're not gonna do that because you're afraid, that as soon as you step foot over there, you're gonna be arrested. And it says right here, the motion states that Khalil Cook was merely a bystander and was not involved in the physical altercation that led to Shanquella Robinson's death. There are no allegations that he touched anyone or participated in any act of violence. Cook argues that the most important witnesses in the case included Mexican medical personnel who treated Shanquella, hotel staff who were present, Mexican law enforcement who responded to the scene, the coroner's office that examined her body, that these individuals are all located in Mexico, making it difficult to compel their testimony in a U.S. court. So he's saying, hey, if we have it in a U.S. court, this trial, how can we bring key witnesses over here from Mexico, like the doctor, the Cabo Villa personnel, concierge? How can we get all these people here to actually testify? And so, so he's saying that this Mexico will be the better place. And while they're bringing this up and they're trying to argue this, the United States should actually be saying, hey, we should actually extradite Daejhanae Jackson back to Mexico. Extradite her back to Mexico because there's already a warrant for her arrest, and it happened over there. Extradite her back there, let her be arrested upon, being over there. Cook's legal team, they cited U.S. precedent cases, Supreme Court rulings that support dismissing cases when another country is a more appropriate jurisdiction. So Cook's motion asked the court to dismiss the claims against him because he says the case should properly be heard in Mexico, not in the U.S., that critical evidence and witnesses are all in Mexico, and that he was not directly involved in the altercation. Now, notably, what I want to say is that Daejhanae Jackson really tried to copy Khalil Cook's whole argument, because before she had an attorney, it looks like she was trying to really copy other people's answers and responses to what they put in their filings about the wrong venue and things like that. Besides, she also added a statute of limitations. And right here at the very bottom, as stated, I actually gave the document for free. Now it says Khalil Cook's motion to dismiss. And there are some people out there that was like, is Danny updating on Shanquella? Yes, I was updating on Shanquella through the petition. And I was giving away the documents for free right here. Khalil Cook's motion to dismiss is right here uploaded. Okay. Let's go back over here. This 2 months ago, federal case against Shanquella Robinson, tribal companion still active, motions to dismiss awaiting. So that was 2 months ago. And then right here, I put Daejhanae Jackson, aka Emani Green, finally responds in Kabul 6 case. So this was her actual first response when she responded, okay, Daejhanae. And I sent this out on June 4th, 2025. And I says, for the first time since the case began, Daejhanae Jackson, who unalived Shanquella and now using the name Emani Green, has formally responded in court. On May 27, 2025, she filed a motion for extension of time to answer in a federal civil court's lawsuit. The court granted her request as stated in the official docket. It says text-only order granting docket 51, motion for extension of time to answer. Emani Green's answer. So she had until June 18th initially, but then she tried to extend it later to a longer time. And then at the very bottom, as always, right here, not always, not always, but right here, as you can see, I actually give the document again for free to download so you can actually see. So I actually give the update of what the document is about. And for those that want to read the document themselves, then you get the access to the document. And petition update, federal claims dismissed, but the fight for justice continues. So when some like FBI and others, call for dismissal, then the government knows what they are doing as far as trying to get a dismissal. Okay. Now I will say the FBI did release some documents despite trying to get it dismissed, but still, as of June 13, 2025, the lawsuit brought by Shanquella Robinson's mother against the FBI and the U.S. State Department has been officially dismissed by the federal court. Now, wait a minute. That doesn't mean a whole lawsuit is dismissed. Whenever there's a lawsuit, each defendant is separate from everyone else. So the FBI will be separate, one separate entity. United States, U.S. State Department will be a separate entity. And then Daejhanae will be by herself and as a defendant. And Winter Donovan will be separate. Elise Hyatt will be separate. Nazir Wiggins. Lil Cook. Everyone will be separate. However, sometimes people will share an attorney, and the attorney will say, "I'm representing 3 defendants, or 2 defendants, or just 1 defendant." But whenever there's a bunch of defendants, each person is separately being sued by that one plaintiff. So the FBI and the U.S. State Department, theirs were dismissed. However, the Cabo 6, their motions to dismiss have not been answered yet. So they have not been dismissed as of yet. However, the FBI and the U.S. State Department has been officially dismissed by the federal court. The court ruled that the government cannot be held liable for how it conducted its investigation or responded to extradition requests. In short, the judge found that the FBI and State Department are protected under sovereign immunity and procedural technicalities. It is important to be clear about one thing. The dismissal does not mean that there was no wrongdoing. It simply means that under current laws, federal agencies cannot be sued for how they choose to investigate or fail to act, even in tragic cases like this one. Separately, over 100 pages of FBI documents were recently released under a Freedom of Information Act request, although heavily redacted. When I say heavily redacted, like what can I really see when everything is blacked out? The documents confirmed that the FBI asked serious questions about Shanquella's death in early 2023. They show attempts to obtain records, including 911 audio, autopsy results, security footage, and more. However, no responses from Mexican authorities were included in those files. Also, while some people have recently discussed an arrest warrant, there is no new warrant or arrest at this time. I looked into it when I heard about it. Someone was like, "Oh, Daejhanae warrant." I'm like, "Huh? She already had one from 2022. There's no new one." And surely enough, I looked and I saw that because the FBI documents discussed the Mexico warrant, people were starting to circulate rumors that there was a warrant, but it was all about the old one. There was nothing new. And you have to think about it. Why would there be a new one when there was already an existing one? So it was just it was like something that was old that resurfaced, and then it was being spread as new when it wasn't. Things like that can happen. The warrant being referenced was issued by Mexican officials back in November 2022 and remains unenforced. The new documents only confirm that such a warrant was previously issued, not that new charges are coming. Meanwhile, the civil case against the 6 individuals who traveled with Shanquella to Mexico is still active. Several of those defendants are trying to move the case out of North Carolina and into Mexican jurisdiction. One of them, Daejhanae Jackson, who is now going by the name Emani Green, only just responded in court on May 28th. So at the very bottom, I actually give the actual document of when the feds are, the FBI and the U.S. State Department were dismissed. And again, there was a document attached to the petition. And then right here, Shanquella Robinson petition update, June 17, 2025, a major update in the fight for justice. One of the defendants, formerly known as Daejhanae Jackson, has filed a motion in court under her new name. So let's look at that one. And this was sent out June 17th, and it says, one of the defendants, formerly known as Daejhanae Manhan Jackson, has filed a motion in court under the new name Emani Green. She confirmed in the filing that she was served on May 7, 2025, and is now requesting an additional 21 days to respond to the lawsuit, claiming she needs more time to secure legal representation. So she requested an extension to June 18th. And she filed pro se without an attorney. She sent it by U.S. mail. So she didn't have a lawyer at that time, but now, as I stated at the beginning of this live, she now has legal representation. So now we're moving closer to time. Now we have 3 weeks to go. Remember when it was first filed, it was kind of stalled because we have to get people served and things, and people have like 90 days to serve people. So now that people are served, and then they have also, once they're served, they have 21 days to respond, right? So then that's more time. That's what's taking so long. And then some people can file for an extension, which a lot of these people, Cabo 6, actually file for an extension. So on June 28, I wrote, defendant Emani Green, formerly known as Daejhanae Jackson, has officially responded to the federal wrongful death lawsuit filed by the estate of Shanquella Robinson. According to the filing dated June 18, 2025, Green denies the allegations and challenges the case on multiple grounds. She claims that she was never properly served, which her new attorney also is stating improper service, stating that the summons was delivered to the wrong address and not received by her personally. So she's saying it was to the wrong address. In addition, she argues that the claims against her lack merit and should be dismissed. One of her key defenses is that the alleged statute of limitations for a wrongful death lawsuit has already expired. I'm not going to go over this again because I already did it, discussed it, whatever. All right, we'll say right here. Let me go ahead and read it. Although the defendant claims the wrongful death case is time barred, this is misleading. North Carolina law clearly provides a 2-year statute of limitations for wrongful death action measured from the date of death. Shanquella Robinson passed away on October 29, 2022, when she was unalived, and the estate filed the lawsuit on October 29, 2024, the final day within that legal window. Therefore, the filing was timely and fully compliant with state law. Any argument to the contrary is an attempt to avoid accountability, not a reflection of the actual statute or case timeline. She also raises objections about the court's jurisdiction and the appropriateness of the venue. The lawsuit filed in the Western District of North Carolina includes the following claims: wrongful death, simple battery, negligence, civil conspiracy, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress. While this is not a dismissal, it is the first time Green, aka Daejhanae Jackson, has participated in the case by filing a response. The case remains active, and the court will now consider the motion and decide whether it proceeds to the next stage. And as I said already, she has already filed a new a motion to dismiss now, and she has a lawyer. Which brings us to current day. And again, you can check out these updates yourself. And we will be coming back in my next live and going over the FBI documents for those that are interested in going over those. And like I said, if you want to get ahead of me, you can feel free to see those documents yourself. But for me, I'm going to do it in my next live, okay? So let's actually look at this one right here. I just posted this one 3 hours ago. Jackson's response. Emani Green filed an amended answer to the verified amended complaint in the case. So I already went over this already. And with this one, I did not attach the document because I actually am going to go ahead and attach the document, but I was already going to go live. And the new document is what I just read earlier. So this is the document that was just filed by her, and that goes with that one. So later on tonight, I will add this document to the petition as well. Okay, so I can make sure I keep doing that, because I'm sure some people are like, hey, where's the document? So I try to, when I do the updates, I try to actually add it. But like I said, I have to upload it to my website. And then once I upload it to my website, then I can get the link, and then I'll post it to my updated petition. So this, I would say, just give me time, okay, to update it. But for those needing the document, I will upload it. Shout out to Realistic Dream. Thank you so much for joining my backup chance membership. Y'all, I appreciate the support. Shout out to Realistic Dream. I appreciate the support. Shout out to Emani in the building. Yes, thank you so much for being a member for 18 months. I definitely do appreciate the support. Yes. And I also shout out to my limits for also happy 23-month anniversary on his backup. Says hashtag justice for Shanquella. Please hit that like button. Yes, please hit the like. And like I said, give me what's today? It's Friday and it's the weekend. So try to give me at least a Tuesday, because you know how Mondays can be. Give me to Tuesday to send out an email. And with that email, because I also need to make phone calls. Wait. I need to make phone calls to make sure I have valid emails. Give me to, let's be honest and be fair. So let's give me to Thursday. Give me to Thursday to actually send out an email with new things, because I will also have to call Mexico and call around. So, and I know how that can be because I called them before. You get to run around a lot of times. So give me to Thursday to make sure I can have updated information, okay? And from there, you can be looking out for that email on Thursday evening. And then hope everybody, at least 100 people, 100 emails is good, because imagine if you woke up one day, you had 100 new emails about something. That's still good. So with all the people that sign a petition, I know we can have at least 100 people. But again, don't count on everybody else to do it. Like, oh, the next person's going to do it, next person, and then nobody ends up doing it because everyone's saying next. So anyways, the last thing I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to get, memberships. And then I will see y'all on, let's see here, what's today? Friday. So I think it will be Sunday. It was a good day. So on Sunday, we will come back here Sunday and we will go over the actual, I'm not going to be all drama focused, okay? On Sunday, the 13th, we are going to go to FBI documents, okay? So we're going to go to the documents. Now, and tomorrow, I'm going to be on my main channel, and I'm going to be catching up on Damari Hadley, and some other tomorrow going to be Jag Sector drama, and catching up with the Jag Sector Damari Hadley lawsuit and things like that. And then Sunday is going to be back over here, and also I might even add in a new case on Sunday. The FBI Shanquella, and I might add in a new case I'm looking at. I have to make sure if I actually want to look into that and actually have time to do it. So I'll see y'all back over here Sunday. And for the other people, I'll see you on my main channel tomorrow, Saturday, for the main channel content, okay? And anybody talk about Danny Montana stuff, chat, I don't know when I'll be on Danny Montana, okay? That's my lineup for this weekend. So anyways, I love y'all. And wait. Let me actually give memberships first. At the beginning of each month, I can give 10 free memberships. Well, to be honest, I haven't been over here in a long time. But before I speak, I might gotta make sure I can still do it. Make sure I still got that privilege, child, because not everybody has it for some reason. Okay, I gotta go over to my live. And also, Jag Sector, and also I got an important thing to talk about as well in the cancellation of people. We're gonna talk about tomorrow. So definitely I have to do my main channel because I want to dead some situations on my main channel tomorrow. And shout out to everybody hit the like button. Everybody that at least stopped by, even if you didn't say, you at least stopped by and hit the like. I can tell by the likes are liking. So I definitely do appreciate the love and support. So yeah, I was able to get the 5 memberships. So there's those memberships, and let me give my last 5. So there we have it. I was able to give 10. You know what? Even when I don't come over here, I need to actually still, like, every month I can do 10. So even when I don't come over here, I need to just go ahead and come over here. But yeah, so I'll see y'all later. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you in the next live. Bye. Oh, for everybody else, I give you a shout out on my main channel because you gave me a cash out when I was on my when I was like offline, and not everybody is over here, so I'll wait till I go to my main channel to give those shout outs.
I gotta go. I gotta go. Don't ask me why. I gotta go. I should've left a long time ago. I don't even know how I got here, but I gotta go. Things have to change. I can't stay this way anymore. Good thing for me. I'm tired of the same old thing. So I'm trying something new, exploring something new. I'm not afraid of starting over today. It's a new day, a new me is coming. You'll see, I see it. Do it. You'll see. I gotta go. I gotta go. Don't ask me why. I gotta go. I should've left a long time ago. I don't even know how I got here, but I gotta go. I want more than this. I want more than this. I deserve whatever I want, my heart's desire. I want more than this. What is this? This isn't it. What is this? This isn't how it's supposed to be. This isn't how my life's supposed to be. It's not how I imagined it would be. I gotta go. I gotta go. Don't ask me why. I gotta go. I should've left a long time ago. I don't even know how I got here, but I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. Oh, don't ask me why. I gotta go. I gotta go. I should've left a long time ago. I don't even know how I got here, but I gotta go. I want more than this. What is this? This isn't it. What is this? This isn't how it's supposed to be. This isn't how my life's supposed to be. It's not how I imagined it would be.